So I received a few questions asking,
what's it like to be vegan in Panama?
The struggle is real, you guys. And if you're curious about vegan life in Panama, you're in the right place, because in today's video, we're gonna take a deep dive into the world of plant-based eating, specifically the differences between vegan and vegetarian. These terms are often used interchangeably, but they're different, you guys. And I'm gonna need these restaurants here in Panama City to start getting it right. Yes, I am. And be sure to watch until the end, because we're gonna have a discussion with a real-life vegetarian and get the 411 on the wins and the losses of the vegetarian diet here in Panama. By the way, I'm Cali girl. I'm a high raw vegan, digital nomad, and avid solo traveler, currently living here in Panama. So if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I hope you enjoyed the positivity that I have to share today. And don't forget to hit the subscribe if you like my vibe. Yes. So the first problem I see happening is that these waiters and waitresses don't have a clear understanding of the differences between vegan and vegetarian. It's a problem, you guys. So we're gonna help them out today with a quick lesson or two so they can stop being culprits to this atrocity. So both vegetarians and vegans prioritize plant-based foods, but the key difference is their approach to the consumption of animal products. A vegetarian diet excludes animal flesh, meaning no meat, no poultry or seafood. However, many vegetarians still consume animal byproducts like dairy, meat, cheese, eggs, but there's different variations of vegetarians, you guys. We have lacto-ovo vegetarians, which is the most common type, and they consume both dairy and eggs. We also have lacto-vegetarians, and they enjoy dairy but avoid eggs. Then we have octo-vegetarians. They eat eggs but abstain from dairy. And sometimes they throw pescatarians and flexitarians into the mix for those vegetarians that sometimes consume fish or meat, but I'm not sure that that qualifies. I feel like that's its own category, but that's a whole other video, you guys. Now the vegan diet takes it a whole step further. They exclude all animal products, including meat, poultry, seafood, dairy, eggs, and even honey. And there's different types of vegans, you guys. There's dietary vegans like me who focus on the food aspect. There's ethical vegans who encompass the full lifestyle. There's raw vegans who only eat uncooked food. I'm a high raw vegan, so I sometimes indulge in cooked food, but a majority of my diet is raw. And there's whole food plant-based vegans who focus on whole, unprocessed plant foods. If you're curious to know about the different types of vegans in more detail, check out this video where I go into deeper details of the different types of vegan diets so you can understand better. Okay, so are we clear on the distinct differences between vegetarian and vegan?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, let's continue. Hey you guys, I'm over here with Miss Norma, and she's a real live vegetarian here in Panama. We're talking about vegan and vegetarian in Panama, so she's gonna give us the rundown on what it's like to be a vegetarian in Panama. So Miss Norma, tell me about how long have you been a vegetarian?
I've been a vegetarian since 1995.
Wow.
Yeah, long time,
okay.
long time, since 1995.
Yes, okay, so do you have specific vegetarian diets? Because there's several types of vegetarian.
There are so many. I'm lacto-ovo, which means that dairy and eggs are good for me. My body's not a big fan of dairy. Oh, it really became, when I went vegetarian, cheese became my meat. It was all about cheese, and more cheese. And so I always tell people these are cheese hips that I have. That's the way that I describe my body. But since moving to Panama, I've even started to back off the cheese.
Okay.
The difference, I think one thing that people don't think about when they think about vegetarians, because they think of vegans. And when I go into restaurants, if I say vegetariano, they look, but if I say vegano, then they're like, oh, we get it. But the main things people misconstrue about being vegetarian is that some of us also do not have byproducts as a part of our diet. So I may be lacto-ovo. Other people are just lacto. So they don't eat eggs, but they do eat dairy. And then other people are ovo, or whether they eat dairy but not eggs. And then vice versa. But for me, I actually also don't eat byproducts. So when I go into restaurants, especially Asian restaurants, I have to say no fish sauce. Or if there's certain soups, I always have to ask, what is the stock for the soup? Because it can be beef. Here it's often pork. And that's one of the main things that I run into here is the misunderstanding about vegetarians. Most people automatically assume I'm pescatarian, meaning that I include fish in my diet when they hear vegetarian. Oh, I often think that there needs to be more education around vegetarians sometimes than there does need to be around vegans. Just so many misunderstandings.
Vegans having misunderstandings too. Like,
yes.
It's a struggle here,
yes.
for real.
Yes.
Yeah, so you went from the U.S. to Panama as a vegetarian. Tell us about the difference.
I did. There's a lot more in the U.S. And sometimes in the U.S. it can even depend on where you're from. You know, California tends to accept us and understand a lot more. I'm from the Midwest originally. I'm from Kansas City. They tell me, oh, you can just eat the sides. But then I often find the sides, again, have that meat stock in them. I remember growing up as a kid and loving McDonald's French fries. Time I became a vegetarian, it was like you can no longer have McDonald's French fries because there is meat in the seasoning. And that's how, those French fries were so good for so long for all of us. It was mainly because of that meat stock. Once they took the meat stock out, guess what? The fries taste different. Oh, I came here and then beginning to look for restaurants. What I find is probably the same thing you find, is that I end up doing a lot more educating. Unless I go somewhere that's strictly vegan, I really do have to educate, because the other thing is most of the time when they go, oh, we have vegetarian, everything's fried. Everything is fried. Oh, we have pantacones. All right, what's the oil that you fried it in? Always having to ask those questions here. Oh, for a while here, it was really difficult for me to find food. It was difficult for me to find a salad that was more than lettuce and tomatoes. And you probably had that difficulty too.
Oh my gosh.
And then when I said, oh, but I'm vegetarian, cheese is okay, then they would just pile the cheese on. Pile the cheese on everything. Oh, it's been challenging, but I have made my way. And as a vegetarian, I've had to really go to more vegan restaurants in order to assure that I'm not getting that meat stock, the meat seasoning. Oh, it's been a bit of a challenge.
Okay, so people think vegetarian or vegan that you're automatically healthy. Is that
Yes.
the case?
No, no. And I did not become a vegetarian for health, number one. I became a vegetarian because I could not chew anything, as I like to say, that had a face or a mother. So I cannot chew anything, any flesh. And I'm also a girl whose parents came off the farm in Arkansas and Oklahoma. And so I'm familiar with the milking of dairy cows and the necessity and et cetera, even though I know there's some challenges around that as well. But that's why I became a vegetarian as opposed to being vegan. The other thing is, in 1995, there were not good restaurants if you were vegan. There was no seasoning, everything was bland. Nowadays, I find that so many more of us, especially those of us of African descent, are adding those seasonings into that food. And so it's starting to taste so much better than what it used to. And Panama also does not season their food very much. So I find myself walking around with some, literally, like we used to do in the States, hot sauce in the bag, tahini, something to season the food that I'm getting here. And so, I mean, making that decision to be vegetarian for something other than health really allowed a wide scope. But I also believe that all of my friends and I, we turned 50, 60 around the same time. And I tended to change it. I had fewer health challenges. So many of them suddenly, there was the cholesterol, there was diabetes, there were all of these things that they had. This joint is not working, this muscle is not working, this is sore. And I'm really grateful, and I really believe that two things that helped me the most, one was not having those meat or those animal byproducts within my system. And the second thing is that walking. You know, I'm doing African dance here, and though I think that combination really does help. But no, I didn't do it for health. I've now learned the health benefits. And so now I'm going more towards the health than I am just, I'm not eating anything with a face or a mother.
Okay, so I'm high raw vegan, so
Yes.
I rarely eat cooked foods, so dining out is minimal to me, but Miss Norma is always dining out, so give us the
Always.
rundown, like what's the success rate of the non-vegan restaurants being able to accommodate your diet?
Usually it's pretty low because again I get, oh, we have salad, which means we have lettuce and tomato, or oh no, we have we've got vegetable soup, you're fine. And then I find out, well, what's the stock?
Beef broth.
Beef broth in the stock. Or, oh no, in Asian food, no meat, no, sin carne, sin pescado. And then I find out that the fish sauce, though, is in there. So it's a pretty low rate, and that's why I find myself going predominantly to vegan restaurants, because there I can actually get something where I feel safe. For example, Natural Spice, which is one of my favorites, Natural Spice will offer me that I can either have vegan cheese or I can have regular cheese. So at least there's some option there. And then I absolutely love Planticeria because I think they've done a great job. Plus they let you know what it is. What's the ingredients in their food? They'll give you that. But the success rate, fairly low. I finally had to go to a private chef. For which I could explain, this is what I need. This is what I don't need. This is how I like my vegetables because I like them crunchy. I don't like them overcooked. And that's helped me a whole lot. And then I fill in between. Or there's always the occasional Greek restaurant. Indian restaurants understand. And it's as I say, it's been a challenge, but it's not been a deal breaker here. Because it's growing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm finding. It's growing. And there seems to be a vegan restaurant popping up every other day. When I go places with friends is when I really have to say, all right, well, everyone loves barbecue. I'm from Kansas City. As my, the husband, as I affectionately call him, used to say, in Kansas City, barbecue sauce is a salad dressing. We have so much. And the pride of all the men is that they can make their own barbecue sauce. So someone says, oh, well, let's go to barbecue. Oh, okay, well, certainly I'm going to find something. No. Onion rings, French fries, and the only thing that resembles something that's not meat related or not fried are pickles and onions. That's it.
Toppings.
Yes. Oh, I want to go more with friends. Oh, I wish a vegan option would be offered. One of my other favorites is, of course, the Afro-Panamanian owned 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐿. I was so grateful that they added something. Finally, they added a plant-based menu. Well, at least one option, and now they're working on the menu. And they're going to add more. Okay. Because the biggest thing is when friends and family come, you want to go out with everybody. You want to go out with everyone. And for me, anyone that knows me knows I don't cook. I don't own a pot or a pan. I'm not cooking. So I've accepted the challenge here in Panama, and now it's part of my Panama adventure. It's just exploring and trying to find places where I can eat food.
Yeah.
And feel satisfied.
Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, you guys. So here's another element of being vegan or actually vegetarian in Panama. I actually didn't even know all the details because I'm just straight up high raw vegan. So to me, it's a little more simple. As long as I'm not eating out, my social life definitely took a hit with being this high raw vegan. But the farmers markets are plentiful. You've seen my videos, so definitely the raw fruits and vegetables fresh from the farm are winning for me. So yay, thanks Miss Norma for telling us about how it is.
And I just want to add one thing. That means that there's an opportunity here in Panama for people like you. For high raw vegan, there's an opportunity to include and open up your own vegetarian spot here. So I say to anyone who's not here, come on down, help us out.
Yeah, if you're thinking about running a business, a lot of people hit me and say, they want to move away and then their job won't allow them, and so really the other option is coming here to start a business. So that's an opportunity, you guys. So there it is, you guys. The struggle with vegetarians in Panama City is real, and I'm glad I'm not the only one. And like Miss Norma said, it may be an opportunity for some of you forward-thinking people who are thinking about moving to Panama and starting a business. Do your research. See if there's any possibilities in the vegan or vegetarian restaurant genres. I hope you found this video helpful, you guys, and if you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button, hit the subscribe, and tap the notification bell because I have so much more to share and I don't want you to miss it. Thanks so much for watching today, you guys. Let's live long and prosper together. I'm Cali Girl, and it's my plant-based lifestyle.